Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Brother Gaming HD here today. In today's video, this poll is about like 2 weeks old at this point, and it is a poll by J Bowman Demand, and he ended up asking on a poll, do you think a yearly release cycle for Call of Duty is still healthy for the franchise? And about 69% of his community, with 115 votes with 132 comments, as well as 5.8 thousand votes, all end up saying that no, a new Call of Duty game must stay relevant for a minimum of 2 years. And I was doing some research on Call of Duty of when they even did a 2-year lifespan between games, and the funny thing is, it was actually really early in the 2000s, about 2003, and this is from Destructoid.com. They end up doing every single Call of Duty in order from year all the way up to current date or so. It's not updated right now, but to the most current game that we have right now. And the only time Call of Duty actually had a 2-year lifespan was from the original Call of Duty in 2003 until Call of Duty 2 in 2005. After 2005, you know the rest. You know the rest from there. And I believe that Call of Duty should try to do the 2-year life cycle and try to see what kind of thing that Activision and Microsoft can do with the title going forward, mostly because of the fact that, let's be honest, they've been doing this game for 20 plus years, and people are getting burnt out. People are literally leaving the franchise, mostly because of the fact that they've been playing the same game for the last 10 plus years. And let's be honest, nothing has really changed in the franchise overall. There's a reason why people are floating around and playing X Defiant, and some people are still going back and playing older Call of Duties, even the newer, older Call of Duties, I should say, as well. Mostly because of the fact that this newer generation of COD has technically taken a toll in so many ways. It's taken a toll on the Call of Duty community. It has taken a toll on Sledgehammer Games, Treyarch, even Infinity Ward, for crying out loud. It's literally taken a toll on everybody. But the only ones that have not really been affected is Microsoft and Activision, mostly because of the fact they're the ones making the big bucks overall. So somebody's profiting while somebody's suffering. And those people that are suffering is us, the Call of Duty community, as well as the developers at the studios that I just listed. And I think it's maybe a good time for Call of Duty to go ahead and do the 2-year cycle. And I know some people are going to be arguing with me in the comments, saying it's like, well, they're not going to do that. They'll lose profit, they'll lose money, and everything along the lines of that. Yeah, you're right about that, but at the same time, it's like, look, Call of Duty is just basically a rinse and repeat. And Black Ops 6 is nothing new, nothing different, compared to a couple of things that they decided to bring back and add like one new feature to the game. I might cover that in a future video, but you already know what I'm talking about, the Omni movement. But back to the topic at hand here, it proves that this yearly life cycle for Call of Duty is a very unhealthy way to make this game to keep this game relevant, to keep this game steady and alive. There's a reason why people are literally leaving the Call of Duty franchise to go play X Defiant or go play single player games, because of the fact that people are sick of the Call of Duty yearly release cycle, and it's literally bleeding players year after year. The games never come out 100% polished. The games are always buggy and busted at launch, especially with this newer generation of Call of Duty. There are so many glaring issues with this newer generation of COD to where Some are new, some are reoccurring, and they carry over to the next game going over, like the Packet Burst, which they should have had that shit figured out a long ass time ago, but that shit has been a living nightmare, I think, since 2019, or maybe before that. Correct me down in the comments down below. It's been so damn long, I can't even remember at this point, but it shows that, sure, the profit's there, they're making money regardless of how much money they're losing on a yearly basis, but the quality of the game is not even there. It's basically Treyarch makes one game, on to the next. Sledgehammer makes one game, on to the next. These studios don't have the time and have the passion and effort to literally keep making a new game every year or so, because of the fact eventually they're going to run out of ideas. They're basically going to be reusing ideas from the past, like the prestige system, for instance. That's coming back in Black Ops 6. They're bringing that back, and they're labeling it as quote-unquote new. There's no originality anymore when it comes to Call of Duty, especially for a game that has been out since 2003, pretty much 20 years at this point, 20 years of Call of Duty. You think eventually they'd run out of ideas. We've went back to the World War II era, we've went to the modern day era, we've went to the future, we've went back to the past, we've pretty much went between the rebooted Modern Warfare trilogy and the rebooted Cold War series, as well as some of the Sledgehammer games that somehow intertwined with Cold War and Modern Warfare, especially the newer storyline in some shape or form. There's nothing left. There's nothing left for them to cover. We even have a couple spin-off games like Ghost, Call of Duty Ghosts, which I don't know how that even worked out. That game was a freaking living nightmare, and that came back in 2013. I think it's time. I think it's time for Call of Duty to go on this 2-year life cycle, and maybe the games will come out in a more polished state. And I know I'm basically barking up a tree that's never going to change, but anything is possible. As long as Activision and Microsoft are making money, their business model is good. Their business model is not going to change. As long as it makes them money and makes them profit, they're not going to change it to every 2 years. It'd be nice to see how the game studios like Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, and Infinity Ward would change, but that's never going to change. All we can do is hope. But it's been your boy, Brotherhood Gaming HD, everybody. Please subscribe, like, hit the bell notifications, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out and goodbye.